Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Boost Mobile. This is their first exclusive tablet, the Celero5G Tab. This is an 11-inch tablet, and I will go over the specs in just a little bit, but it does support Boost Mobile's 5G network, so you can be connected wherever you go. We're going to dig into this now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's take a look at the specs. They're on the back of the box here. It's going to give you an idea of what the specs are on this particular tablet. It comes in one color, cloud silver. It does support dual stereo speakers, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and it does support BoostMax audio as well. It's a 10.9-inch Full HD display, IPS at 90 Hz refresh rate. It does have two cameras on the back, a 13 megapixel and a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a front 5 megapixel camera. The storage is 128 gigabytes. And it does have a 7500 milliamp battery with supported charging at 20 watts. Let's take a look at everything that does come in the box. Now you get a couple pieces of literature here, safety, a guide, and a quick start guide for the Celero5G Tab. We do get in the box as well a couple other things. We do get a charger. This is a standard AC to USB Type-C charger, and it is 20 watts. So not super fast on the charging, but fast enough. It does max out at 20 watts, as you can see on the back here. We also get a few other things like a SIM removal tool, and we do get a cable for charging and data. This charging and data cable is going to be a USB Type-C to USB Type-C connection here. So a dual USB to USB Type-C connector on this cable for connecting either to your PC, laptop, or if you're going to be using the included power brick, you can do that as well. So you do have that right here. And then, of course, we have the tablet itself. So let's take a quick look at the Celero5G Tab from Boost Mobile. This is a nice and thin tablet. It only weighs 18.36 ounces. You do get a nice 10.95 Full HD IPS display at 60 or up to 90 Hertz. You can see that we do have a 3.5mm headphone jack and a USB Type-C here for charging. We also have our SIM card tray here that also supports a micro SD card of up to 1 terabyte. And we have our microphone, our volume rocker and power button, and our second speaker. So we do have dual stereo speakers on this as well. Overall, just a really nice, sleek design. On the back, we do have two cameras here, a 13 megapixel main camera and a 2 megapixel macro camera with LED flash. On the front, we have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, which will work just fine for video calls and things like that. Digging right in, we see that we have a pretty vanilla Android experience built on Android 15. So a lot of the apps that you're going to get here are just going to be your stock Android apps. Now Boost Mobile does add a couple of apps here for you, such as an app to check your account and run diagnostics. And there is a connection app as well. So those three, your Secure Connect and the Boost Mobile app and the diagnostics are going to be installed. So it's pretty minimal on the bloatware, to be honest. Now I've added a few things like Fandango and DRM info and things like that, speed test, so that I can show you the speeds on Boost Mobile's 5G network. But the rest of these are pretty much just your stock Android experience, which is a good thing. Okay, so let's take a look at what is running this tablet. Now again, we have 4 gigs of RAM, and initially I was worried that that would not be enough. But through my testing, the RAM was just fine. We've got a display of 1200 by 1920, 11-inch display at 90 Hertz, 128 gigs of storage, and we do have our battery in here as well. We'll take a look at that and show you exactly what comes up under battery. Now, the battery itself, if we scroll all the way down, is a 7500 milliamp battery that is going to be able to give you a pretty long runtime on this tablet. We do have an octa-core MediaTek MT8755 processor. It's a 64-bit processor here, and we do, for our GPU, have a Mali G57 GPU that is going to be capable of light to medium gaming, which again I will show you in just a few moments. It's running Android 15 Vanilla Ice Cream out of the box, so not Android 16, but 15 is pretty good. We'll see what they do with updates down the road. Now, one of the unique things about this is that you could run this on Boost Mobile's 5G network, which is what I'm doing now. You can see in the upper right-hand corner, we are connected to 5G, and I do want to run a speed test on Boost Mobile's 5G network. This means when I'm out and about, I don't have to worry about Wi-Fi. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just game, watch content, connect with apps, and do everything right from the Boost Mobile 5G network. So let's do a quick speed test here, and you'll see that in my area I'm getting about 500 megabits per second download speed on their 5G network, which is pretty good for my area and 5G. Now the upload speed is going to be a little bit lower, but it's still about 70 to 80 megabits per second. So you have that option if you're going to be uploading files, that it's going to be quick enough to do that as well. So the upload is 521, the download is 78.6, which is really nice to have pretty much anywhere you are. Now, cameras are not something that typically people usually take a lot of photos with, but it does include a 13 megapixel main shooter and a 2 megapixel macro shooter. And we're going to take a look at the camera app and some samples of audio, video, and some still shots so that you can check them out for yourself. The camera app here is pretty standardized, but we do have a few surprises for a budget tablet. I can zoom in, I believe it's up to 8x on the main camera, as you can see here. So we do have some zoom capabilities to be able to zoom. I can change my aspect ratio here. I can also just snap a few extra pictures, and I'll show you some samples right after this portion. We do have a pro mode here that'll allow us to change our white balance, our shutter speed, our focus. We can change those things right here if we want to. So we do have some settings that we can change. Now, the max that you're going to get for video on this is going to be 1080p at 30 frames per second. And that is pretty much capped because of the MediaTek chip. But you do have other options as well as just video, of course, your regular photo. We do have our portrait modes. We do have a beauty mode as well, and a few other things that we can use here. So you can see down in the left-hand corner, full HD at 1080p is what I'm capturing here, and I'll play this in just a few moments so that you can see this for how the quality of the microphone and the main camera sensor is. But we do have some other modes as well that we'll jump into real quickly, such as portrait mode, which you can, again, adjust the blur. You can do a beauty mode, and we even have some more here, like motion photo, slow motion, and time lapse as well. So you do get a pretty decent camera suite here. Again, not a lot of people take a lot of pictures with their tablet, but it's nice to know that this is included. Here are some camera samples. This is just your main camera with a regular shot in good light. You can see that it does a good job, crisp and clear. Color representation is definitely good here. Again, in good lighting, you should have no problems with pictures on the main sensor. Moving on over to a shot here in portrait mode, you can see that it does a pretty good job at outlining the subject and blurring the background. So portrait shots, again, in good light, are going to be just fine for you. This is a test of the Celero5G tab from Boost Mobile. The video settings are normal on this. Nothing has been changed, but I did want to give you an idea of the video quality out of the box without any tweaks, and the microphone quality as well, as being able to kind of auto adjust to my hand here. We'll be able to see how well this does. Again, this is a 13 megapixel rear facing camera. And a lot of people don't use cameras on their tablets, but it's nice to have it included. So multitasking on this is no problems. Again, that 4 gigabytes of RAM kind of threw me, and I thought, well, you know, this might not be enough. But even having multiple apps open, it's still fluid and fresh. I didn't have any problems with it whatsoever. Being able to, you know, jump back and forth from different apps. You'll see that one did reload because of that 4 gigabytes of RAM. But unless you have a ton, and I mean a ton of apps open, you're not going to have any problems with using multiple apps at the same time and seeing any device slow down. So the 4 gigabytes of RAM, especially on a budget entry-level tablet like this, still holds pretty well. So let's take a look at gaming. Can the Mali GPU game on this? And yes, it certainly can. I'm playing PUBG Mobile on this now, and it's nice and fluid, no problems. Now, it can't run at the most max settings, but you can still get a gaming session in. Again, this is over 5G. I'm gaming on this, and this doesn't have any issues with stutter or lag or anything like that. Again, I'm not at the highest game graphics settings, but I still had a good experience while playing, a nice fluid experience, and I can game on the go because of Boost Mobile's 5G network. So this makes this a nice experience if you're looking to game on this. So medium to light gaming, definitely. Heavy gaming, it may struggle, but you can still play things like, you know, probably Fortnite, and of course, obviously here, PUBG Mobile. We didn't have any issues at all. Okay, so there you go. That's PUBG Mobile, and you got to hear some of that dual channel stereo speakers with the BoostMax audio, which I'll get into right after this clip. I'm not great at PUBG Mobile, but it plays great, sounds really good with those speakers, and overall I had a great time with it. So BoostMax audio is installed here, as is on a bunch of different devices from Boost. And you can see that you can turn it on or off. You can also adjust the intensity here, restore your settings, and check up on that. But we've got a few different things. There's an automatic mode, a music profile, a movie profile, and a gaming profile, and a voice profile. And you can actually go in once you select any of these, and you can modify them. So if I go into the video profile or the music profile, I can go into advanced audio settings, and I can modify the treble boost, the surround, the bass boost, and all the levels, the voice enhancements as well. And you can really kind of make this your own for how you like it to sound, and it works out really, really well. We're going to watch a video here where there's some music in the background. You're going to be able to hear exactly how this sounds and exactly how it looks for media consumption. Now, we can go all the way up to 1440p at 60 frames per second on YouTube, so let's take a listen and a look. So just a nice, crisp, clear screen, great colors, 90 hertz refresh rate, looks really good, just excellent for media consumption such as movies, TV shows, YouTube, and more. And if you heard the audio, that BoostMax audio does an excellent job as well. Now, last but not least, I do want to check out a few things here and just kind of show you that not only can you add a Boost Mobile SIM card for Boost Mobile's 5G network, it also has an extra spot here for a micro SD card so that you can add up to 1 terabyte of extra space to help complement that 128 gigabytes of base storage. So this is awesome. Down below you can also see the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack that they've retained on this. So if you're a fan of wired headphones, you can still use those as well. So that's my review of the Celero5G tab from Boost Mobile, their first exclusive in-house tablet. Now you can pick this up on Boost Mobile for $99.99 with an unlimited $20 tablet plan, or a no credit check, no contract for $199.99. So either way, if you're a current Boost Mobile customer, getting this for $99 is a pretty good deal. It definitely punches above its weight class when it comes to a lot of different features, such as its nice IPS HD display at 90 hertz, a large 7500 milliamp battery that's going to give you a ton of time for, you know, whatever you're going to be using your tablet for. This is a great multimedia consumption tablet with its dual speakers and BoostMax audio. As you can see, we can do some light to mid-level gaming on this, and it has long battery life. You also get some things that you don't normally see on a lot of newer devices anymore, such as a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and being able to expand your storage through that micro SD card slot. And having Boost Mobile's 5G network wherever I am and not having to worry about Wi-Fi is also an excellent plus. I had a great time reviewing the Celero5G tab from Boost Mobile. If you're looking for a tablet that is great for media consumption and a great all-around tablet, you might want to check this one out from Boost Mobile. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.